Hi there, welcome to Mom Coach Wife. My name is Alina Michelle, and today is episode 11 of Mompreneur Mondays. And today we're going to be meeting Jessica Medina of Happy Healthy Soul. I'm so excited to bring her to you guys, as I am with all the other moms that I've brought, but especially Jessica because I love the way that she approaches health and dives deeper into your health journey to make it more than just about the food that you eat and the exercise that you're doing. So I don't want to tell you everything about Jessica. I want you guys to actually meet her and learn from her who she is and what it is that she does and how she's balancing all of this as a mom. So if you are new to this channel, please give us a subscribe, give me a thumbs up on any videos that you like, and hit that bell for notifications so that you know when we post. Currently, we've been missing a couple of Wednesdays as we balance out some things behind the scenes, but we will be back to posting regularly on Wednesdays as well to talk to you guys about different tips and tricks for motherhood, balancing your goals with being a mom, wife, or whatever your other roles may be, and whatnot. So stay tuned for that as well. But for now, let's talk to Jessica of Happy Healthy Soul. Hi, Jessica.
Hi,
How have you been?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, good. So I want you to take a moment and introduce yourself a little bit more in depth and tell everyone what it is that makes you more than just a mom.
So, I am first a mom to four kids and a wife. And on the side, I like to say on the side because they clearly come first. I am a very busy working mom. So, I run a consulting company, and most importantly, I am a wellness coach. So we have a wellness business that basically coaches people through a nutritional cleanse and tries to get them sustainable habits, not just for the body, but for the mind, for the soul, so that they can really start to thrive in life and not just be focused on calorie deficit and working out and things like that, because it's so much more than that.
Awesome. So I know you said that you are mom to four children, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your current family dynamic beyond just being a mom and how's your family look right now?
Yeah. So we are a blended family of six. I met my husband probably almost 15 years ago. We've been together for almost 10. And when we first got together, he had two younger kids. So they were, I think, 3 or 4 and 6 or 7 at the time. And now that 6-year-old is 16 and learning how to drive, and we have added a couple of extra to our clan too. So I have a first grader and a very feisty 2-year-old. So
Yeah.
we're very busy either fighting with a toddler or teaching someone how to drive.
Troublesome twos and threes to kind of go hand in hand. So you guys
Firecracker
have a
for
bit of
sure.
everything going on right now. You have one that's just a couple of years from going out on their own, and one that's really just trying to boss everybody else around, I'm sure, at two.
We have the whole gamut of them. So it is fun. It is chaos. Luckily, I have a husband that tackles the load with me. So
Awesome. Um, since you have experienced all phases, what has been your favorite phase of child development as a mom?
um I want to say my son, who is 6 right now. I mean, it's such a sweet phase. He's like smart, but not too smart for me yet.
Mhm.
Still sweet, still wants hugs and snuggles and stuff like that. And the boys in the middle, that's just their personality. They're just more mellow and easygoing. And so their ages are pretty cool. And then Diego is going to be 13, and that's a really cool age because they're starting to, he's starting to grow up too. So um, I think the only reason 16 and 2 scares me is because they're girls. And
So it's not the age, it's the gender that scares you.
right. But it's so fascinating to watch, I mean, we have a very, very good 16-year-old girl. She, no matter what the age is, and even if it's challenging, she has a good heart. She takes care of her siblings. And so when it comes to having a 16-year-old, I think we lucked out in that she's spectacular. And, my
For sure.
2-year-old is gonna bring up the back end of the engine real strong.
So you guys got the boys sandwich in the middle and two very amazing in different ways on the outside. Awesome. And I love to hear that dynamic because everyone that's watching for the most part are probably moms, and all of our lifestyles are a little bit differently, and that's why I wanted so many different moms to come on the show to talk about their particular lifestyle, because there may be a mom that relates directly to you who has a wide spectrum of ages, and then we may have moms who they have adult children or have newborns or toddlers or whatnot. So it's really important to be able to see yourself in the entrepreneurial world, because I know for myself, I don't know how it was for you. I didn't see moms really showcasing themselves as both moms and entrepreneurs in the same space very much. It was just like, oh, I'm a business owner, but they never really talked about how that balance worked out. So it's pretty cool to see how vast of a range you have and still rocking it out as a wellness coach with your own business. So tell us a little bit about that business. What is it called and what led you to starting it?
It's called Happy Healthy Soul, and pregnancy was really hard for me. It was hard the first time around, and the second time around, it did not get any easier. And then postpartum is always hard for me too. So this time it was almost scarier because I knew how hard it was going to be going into it. Like I knew what I was about to go through, and my hormones get thrown in a blender. And some moms just rock it and make it look easy. I do not. I make this thing look like the ultimate train wreck that it is. Breastfeeding, getting the weight off, all of that. It's pure survival mode. And I was having a lot of health issues this time around after pregnancy. And so when my daughter was, I guess, about 1, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. It was medical doctor after medical doctor. And they're basically like, you have a lot of inflammation and we don't know why. And they didn't really give me any good options, and that really bothered me. And so I started to take it on to myself to look into other natural ways and ways to get healthy, because at the end of the day, we have 4 kids and I want to be around, watch them grow up. I need to keep up with them. I want to play tennis with them. I want to go running with them, all the things. And in order to do that, I have to take care of myself first.
Right.
And so I went on a journey and did a cleanse, basically to reduce the inflammation. And my husband did it with me. And the first one was 30 days, and it ultimately changed our life. So it's been over a year now since we did the first one. It changed our life because it changed the way that we thought about all the things, from eating to all this stuff. And what we learned was when we got that piece under control, and when my mind wasn't focused on how crappy I felt or how tired I was, I could then step one more up and I could do some personal development. And then I could, take my relationship with God to the next level, and I could, read, and I could do all these things now because I wasn't so wrapped up in being this miserable, sad, hurting mom. And what I've learned is that took a lot of extra effort for us. So we had to go in and we had to find the personal development podcasts and the books and all of the devotionals and things like that. And so I created a program that basically takes people through a 30-day journey, and it feeds them all of these things. So I want to feed your soul for 30 days. Yes, you're going to get a giant nutrition packet. And yes, that's just one part of it. But I want to give you personal development stuff to think about and to meditate on every day. I want to teach you more about your body besides just how to cook a recipe. And then I want to kind of take this into a devotional sense and to allow you to work on that relationship spiritually as well. And so when you wrap all of those things together, I really feel like it helps your soul become a happier person and in turn be a better mom.
Yeah, 100%. I can definitely see where going on a health journey is going to be so much deeper than just like you said earlier, the fitness side of it or just the nutritional side of it, because if you only focus on those sides, there's still like so many other factors of health, I love that you really speak to the spiritual and the mental health as well, because I feel like those are two of the most important healths really, because it makes it really hard to go and get yourself healthier if your mind and spirit aren't in the right place to begin with, because
Absolutely.
there's like a whole rewiring there as well. If you do that, if you would have done that 30-day cleanse and not taken charge of the other aspects of health in your life, it may have turned out a whole lot differently, because you would still be working with the same mentality and the same spirit that you had prior to doing that cleanse. So
Right. And it can either, I
awesome.
mean, you can do a 30-day diet or you can do a transformation. And to me, the transformation is easier because if you can change your mind and your mindset, then it doesn't really make the choice between Cheetos and an apple hard. It makes it a lot easier because I have the same weaknesses and lack of self control as everyone else. And it
100%.
really just helped shape our lives and learn how to eat differently because of the way that we want to live. So,
Yeah. So like I said, super, super awesome that you dive deeper, because there's so many programs out there. And I really feel like you're the only one that I've ever met or like heard of a program where you actually have all of your health being incorporated into it. So how long have you guys been doing this? I know you said it's been a little over a year since you guys did your first cleanse. How long have you guys been doing this program?
we started it, I think, about 60 or 90 days after we kind of got the momentum going because what we realized is, holy crap, this changed our lives as people, as parents, as humans. I want to share that. I want to teach other people how to do that. And so it's been right under a year, I think. And
Okay.
we've had the honor of, I mean, we've it's been hundreds and hundreds of pounds lost. And nothing warms my heart more than someone sending me a text like, oh my God, my bones don't hurt, I'm sleeping better, like I lost 10 pounds, like all of these things. Like it genuinely warms my soul to get texts like that because these people are putting in the effort and the time and the energy into making themselves feel better
Yeah.
the right way.
Awesome. So, what is one mission or one goal that you have for your business, being that we're in a new year now, still fairly new? We'll be like halfway through the last month of the quarter when we go live here. So, what's something that you're wanting to accomplish?
More, more, more and more. I just want to affect more people and help more people, and that's really the goal. And we don't, we don't do a lot of advertising or anything like that. It's truly just word of mouth and the people that we know, and just one, seeing our transformation of our lives, and then two, seeing the people that we have affected. And so I really just want to reach farther and wider and help, especially moms that forgot who they were or have put themselves, like you said, at the bottom of the list for too long. You
Mhm.
can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't take care of others until you take care of yourself first. And the most important thing that I learned is that you don't have to feel like that. Like, I felt awful for so long, and I just thought, I'm older, I'm a mom, I've had kids, this is
Yes.
just how this is just life. And that's not true. And it doesn't have to be true because I want to be that 65-year-old grandma playing tennis with my grandkids. And in order to pull that off, there's some work that has to be done.
Oh yeah, like the women who are in their 60s and 70s that are fit, and I know you've probably seen a few of them throughout social media. Like those women put in work, and not just yesterday, not like just in the last week. Like they continue to, and I'm with you. I felt the same way as a mom. That's why I started the series and why I started Mom Coach Wife, because it was just like that lost feeling of not knowing, who you were anymore. And you're so right when you said like you just feel like, oh, I'm getting older, I'm a mom, because that's the cycle that we're accustomed to. Like that's what society basically tells you, is like you're going to get older, you're going to gain weight, you're going to hurt, you're going to be depressed, you're going to have these things, all these different things they tell us we are supposed to experience, right? And then when you realize like, wait, I don't have to, like that doesn't have to be my reality, I can shape it to be something totally different.
Exactly.
So yeah, what do you feel like in this year or so of business that you guys have been doing this has been your absolute biggest success?
Um, I'd go with two sides. So on the weight loss side, I've just seen true transformations, just incredible amounts of weight loss and people that I would have never guessed. I mean, I've had people that I haven't had more than a very topical level conversation with that. I mean, he's lost over 100 pounds now. I mean, that's
Wow.
life changing. That's life changing, where his immune system was strong enough to fight COVID when, and
Good.
he said, if this would have happened to me 100 pounds heavier, I'd be dead by now, because I was not healthy. I was not strong. So to me, that's life changing. That's life saving. That's huge. And just to be a fly on the wall and be part of that is just an honor. And then the other part would be on the spiritual side. We've created a devotional that goes along with this. And you get messages every night before you go to bed. And whether you read them or not, that's up to you. But I want to provide them and I want to feed their soul for 30 days. And I've had people that didn't even know, like, when you say he and it's capitalized, like, who are you talking about? Like, I've had those conversations, like,
Wow.
and that's the level of exposure that they've had. So to be able to grant someone just that door opening and to give them that much more exposure to what could be eternal life, that's an honor too. And so, being a part of two people or two kinds of transformation, physical and spiritual, has truly been kind of my favorite parts about this.
Awesome. It's really cool that you've been able to open that kind of a door for people spiritually. Just because I know, like, if someone capitalizes he in the middle of a sentence, like, I more than likely you're talking about God. Like,
And
you know,
but you take that for granted because maybe you
yeah.
grew up with that, or you always had that, and then we kind of forget about the people that didn't get to grow up with that and don't know. And it's like, to be that introduction, just through little things. That's super cool too.
Yeah, that's an amazing blessing in itself, for sure. And yeah, that was eye-opening to me, see, because I would have never really thought about like, what, you didn't know that? Because even people that I know that weren't really like in a church lifestyle or a church family growing up, like they still knew that. So I was oblivious and completely ignorant to the fact that there are going to be people out there that wouldn't know that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So, I know you said that you don't do a lot of advertising, and most of your advertising is word of mouth. How did you guys start reaching out to people to even get that ball rolling? Because I know a lot of people kind of struggle with advertising their businesses or really getting word out about what it is that they're doing.
So I'm a digital marketing consultant as well. So part of my other side of the business is actual marketing for small businesses and SEO. And that wasn't the way that I wanted to take this business, because this business is real personal. I mean, if you sign up with me, we're talking 3-4 times a day, every day during this cleanse. I mean, this is getting real intimate. And to me, someone has to be really ready. You got to be ready for a change. You can't accidentally drop into this. And you got to be ready for that intimacy that is going to come along with this journey of talking one-on-one. And can you cheat on a cleanse? Sure. Will I know? Probably not, because I'm not living in your house. but I can tell now. We've done this with enough people. I can tell who's taking this real seriously and who's maybe not ready yet and maybe got roped in by someone else. But the way that we really started to make it a thing for us was just talking about our journey. So our journey was first. And I still talk about it on social media and stuff today, because it's a journey. There's no end to this. There will be
Right.
no end to my wellness journey because something will always come up. And you can't stop. It's not a 30-day thing. It's
Right.
learning how to live a healthier lifestyle, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so it's just that constant sharing about our lives, about the things that we eat or drink or whatever, and then slowly more people are reaching out, and people that know people, reach out like, hey, I heard you were doing this, I need help. It's like,
Mhm.
that's my magic word, I need help, here I am.
Yes.
How can I help? So
And I love the one key word that you said there was lifestyle. And anytime it's a lifestyle, it's not one time, it's not short period. It's a lifetime of you doing something. It's, you might start as an idea and turn that idea into a habit, and that habit turns into that lifestyle. And so I think that was really, really important for people to grasp, is that when you take on a journey like this, it's something that has to be consistent. It's not like, oh, I got the body I want now and I'm done, because then you just end up right back where you started in the first place. So, yeah.
and the other parts of it too, the mental, personal development, that's a journey. Like, can you ever
Mhm.
be done growing as a person? No.
No,
Like,
when you
you know
die.
right. Exactly. You stop learning, you're dead. And then the spiritual part, till you get there, you ain't done yet. So it's all of these things that, you just want to continue throughout your life. And this just, I try to help you create those habits for 30 days so that you can step off that ledge and that you can fly on your own.
Yeah, and that's so good, because so many people need that extra push and that extra help, because it is hard to do it on your own when you have no idea where to start. And you had your husband had you, so I know that was probably really helpful for you guys even. But yeah, it's hard to make a major change when you're going at it alone. So thanks for being there for people, making more good humans.
Thank you.
So, if you could start your business completely over, is there anything that you would change? And if so, why would you make that change?
I don't know. I don't I don't know if I would make any changes. I would, you know what? I would make one change, and I'll show it to you here. So my clients get messages throughout the day.
Mhm.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but throughout their entire journey, and
I can kind of see it's like blue.
right. So the
Yeah.
bottom part is in white text, and so these are
Oh,
very
there's
thought
there's
out.
words there.
Exactly.
Oh, like I saw like the black words at the top, and it was like a little blue square.
So it comes with a personalized text. So these aren't automated by any means. And I always tell my clients, sometimes they're at the same time every day. And sometimes I have too much going on and I will snooze them, but you will get them no matter what at some point in your day. So this is the one that I send out at the end of the day. And this happens to be day 28. So it has the Bible verse on it, but there's a whole thing here. And then it comes with a text message. And my biggest mistake is I wrote them all in white ink. You can't, and they're really hard to read, especially for any of my older clients. And to redo them is on my to-do list, but it takes a lot of time. So if I were to do anything over, it would have been to read that on a phone, because on my computer it looked perfect.
Yeah. And that's kind of funny how sometimes you see something in like especially when it's larger too, and it looks really good, and then you put it in a smaller, and it's like, oh, now I can't read that.
Yeah,
Or or wait, that font doesn't really go really good.
yeah. So that was my mistake early on, and I have yet to fix it and redo it. But
Well, that's not too bad of a fix. Makes sense why you want to fix it, but it's not like the worst thing in the world, you know? So there's a little square that you can't read.
right, every day, 3 times a day.
Yeah, 3 times a day. I'm gonna send you an image. You might have to like blow it up.
Zoom in.
but, but then you'll be able to read it. So let's talk a little bit about balance when it comes to you doing so much, having a business that you are running with your husband, and then being a wife, being an individual, and having 4 children of various ages. How do you balance all of that?
I think balance is impossible. And that's okay. And I think that it's not about balancing everything every day. It's just about finding the joy in it. Some days are going to be more lopsided than others, but as long as the life overall is balanced, COVID has thrown a wrench into what is life that everyone has had. And it is what it is. We've had enough time to cry over it, and now it's time to get up. And this may be like this for a really long time. So how are we going to move on from that? How do we get our work done at home while we're teaching school behind us? Because that's first grade back there. If you look so, some days are very unbalanced, but life as a whole, we really try to make it a priority to sneak away for a lunch sometimes, because babysitters on the weekend are no longer a thing for us.
Yeah.
And just try to mentally focus on ourselves before the piles of stuff, because the one thing that we've figured out, that in order to best balance this very chaotic life, is we have to be okay, because we have 4 kids and so many jobs relying on us to be good at what we are. And in order to do that, we have to be okay. We can't be undernourished, lack of sleep, all of the things that people let happen to them because life is overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you let those things build up, you're no longer going to be serving anyone that you want to serve at any capacity. So the first thing is definitely to take care of yourself, and then to understand that chaos is going to happen, and it's more like a long-term balance plan and less of a day-to-day balance, because I think if you
100%.
strive for that day-to-day balance, you're just going to let yourself down, and then you're going to feel bad about that.
Yes. And balance is always a journey. Like it just like with the health, it's always a journey. It's one of those things that you're probably going to have to adjust. I'm sure you've had to adjust it several times as your first set of children got older, from your husband's first relationship, then you added children in, and then so there's so many different stages that the children are going through that's going to change how you approach balance, because when you have a newborn, you're focused on diaper changes, breastfeeding, or bottle feeding, whichever one you choose. And then as they get into toddler, you're like trying to get them to sit still.
But it's the 80-20 rule. I mean, that applies for so much in life, not just food. Like, that's a true look at balance. Like 80% of the time, I can juggle these balls, and 20% of the time, they're just all over the floor, and that is what it is.
And those are the things you have to learn to get okay with, and being like, okay, it's not a perfect day, and it's okay. Because even though like I essentially teach balance, one of the things that I had to realize in my own journey was like, okay, my little perfect plan that I wrote out for the day might not happen.
But you got a couple things checked off of it, and if not, tomorrow's a new day.
Exactly. So I just look at like what's the most important in the day, and everything else, if I get it done, great. If I don't, moving on to the next day.
Exactly.
Water off the back. So what do you feel like has been your biggest challenge as a mompreneur?
There are not enough hours in the day.
It's only 24, and you got to sleep, so you got to take at least 6 to 8 off for that.
Yeah, and I really tried to make sleep a priority. When my son was really little, I was working a corporate job, and I would travel all day, and then I would have to come home, and I'd try to be with him because he was really little, put him to bed, and then I'd open my computer back up. I'd be on my computer for another 2 hours, because you can't get anything done when you're traveling all day driving around. So I've slowly learned that was a surefire way to spiral into exhaustion after a few years of that. That's just not sustainable. It's not healthy for my relationships. It's not healthy for my body. It's not healthy. I'm not getting any more work done, because at the end of the day, then I wake up the next morning and I'm just exhausted again. So I ended up stepping away from that life. Doesn't matter how well it paid if your whole reason for being is your health.
Yeah.
And I think this year in 2020 really showed us that if we don't have our health, we don't have anything at all. And so, and that includes what you just said, mental health is so big on that one. And so we really try to focus on, not just there aren't enough hours in the day, because we all get 24 hours. I've looked hard for more, and there are no more hours.
No time machines?
And one of the things I tell my clients is like, Oprah gets 24 hours, Bill Gates gets 24 hours, and I only get 24 hours. So what am I going to do with it? Yeah. Do I wake up? How do I carve out time for myself? Because that is hard. And then how do you carve out time for your business and your other jobs and momming and all these things? So it's a dance.
Yeah. Looks like you've gotten pretty good with the steps though.
So it is 80% of those days.
Well, I think I've run into you on more 80% days than 20% days. So
we don't post the 20% days. Well, sometimes I do. When my kid is throwing an absolute tantrum, I do try to catch those because she's adorable, but I don't want you to think by any means I don't have to live with a screaming temper tantrum toddler either, just because I post pictures of her looking so cute. Like, my house is chaos too.
Right.
And we just have to take a video and know that we will one day look back and be like, oh, remember that? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, my husband recently I was washing Brooklyn's hair, and I took the shampoo and like smurfed up her hair. It was a little swirl thing. And I thought it was so cute. So I had him come and take a picture, and she didn't like it. So she was just sitting there crying. So the picture is of her hair up in the swirl of the tub, and she's bawling. But I wanted the picture, so.
I get that.
So I was like, it'll be this memory, and then I can go back and tell her, like, yeah, you didn't really like it, but mommy did.
Right.
So yeah, and we do have to share sometimes those 20% moments of like, yeah, this is what happens. Like, I know I don't remember when, but there was a time when I took a picture of like her room being an absolute disaster. I'm like, this is what's behind me, like 90% of the time. Like, even right now, there's Legos all over the floor, just that way.
Totally. And moving your body, I think, is one of those things. Like, you got to move your body, and it hurts sometimes, and you're tired sometimes, and you just want to give up or lay on the couch. And guess what? I feel that way too. And sometimes I post a picture and it's like, look at this beautiful place I'm at. Like, this is amazing. I'm working out. And then sometimes it's like, this took my whole damn soul to get here, but I showed up. Like, I showed up for me. I did not want to be here at all, but and those count too, because as moms, we feel like that, and sorry, there's a siren. But it's okay to show up half defeated as long as you show up.
Yeah, as long as you beat that battle and you're there and you go do what you need to do, because we all go through it. We all do. We all have those down moments. Even the people that we look at where it's like, oh, it looks like they've got it together. I want to get like that. So like, probably not that far off, honestly.
They're just not posting their mess like we are.
Yes. So some of my fun questions, if you were to have a book written about your life or to write a book about your life yourself, what would you title it?
I think you asked me this in the past and I had a good answer and now I can't remember. Because one of my goals is to write a book and I've started it. Now I can't even remember what I wanted to name it.
You didn't write it down. You did have a good one when we talked before.
I did have a good one. One
of the technical issues.
Yeah, one of the drafts of the book that I had started, because I try to keep the notes going. One of these days, it's on my list of things to do. Was underwater. Underwater because and it was like my journey back. So at a certain point, I mean, I'm a great swimmer, and I was drowning, and I was drowning in life, and I was drowning in the heaviness of it, and I was drowning in so many ways. And, it wasn't a quick journey back to the surface. It was definitely a journey, and there's so much in that I would want to share so that other moms know that they're not alone and that there is a way to get back, and you can remember how to swim. But It's a hard process for sure.
Oh.
Postpartum recovery is no joke. And I wish it was talked about more than just postpartum depression. Because I
Mhm.
feel like if you don't have postpartum depression and you know you don't have it, then you're kind of written off. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's either that or that, and it's not. And there's so this giant other world of postpartum issues that come along with becoming a mother that are very much overlooked in the physical community of, wellness, and then the mental health community too.
100%. For one, the postpartum hasn't been talked about very much until recently. Like I've just really started to see, I would say probably just before having Brooklyn, who's only going to be 4 this year, I just started to see people talking about postpartum depression alone, and that is just now becoming widely known as a thing. And there's still so much more of that surface that needs to be scratched because we're just now really starting to talk about the different things that mothers go through. I don't know if you caught the doula that I had with me about a week ago. Since it'll be almost a month ago when you guys are watching this, but and she talked about a lot of things that weren't really talked about in our pregnancy and labor and delivery journeys. There's so much that we still have to really open the door to when it comes to motherhood, especially from the very beginning of becoming pregnant all the way through actually having the child, because we just don't talk about the different things that women are going through and why. So there's a lack of understanding and knowledge there for that future mom who has never been pregnant before, or maybe they had an amazing pregnancy the first time, and then here they are on round 2 or 3, and they're like, I didn't have this happen to me before. So we
Yeah.
definitely have a lot more work to do in describing the different things that could happen during and after pregnancy for sure.
Absolutely. And making it, taking care of you can't just take care of that baby after birth, taking care of
Yeah.
that mom after birth. And we're the country that does it the worst. And it's the hardest thing to see is that we don't give a mom a true recovery time to bond and be with that baby, and to avoid these. I think a lot of this could be easily avoided should we take care of that mom as much as we want to take care of that baby when she's born too.
Yeah.
We're just not a country that does that well, that supports that in our healthcare system or anything. Some other countries just do it so much better than we do.
Yeah.
And I
From
feel
the
like,
beginning, it's all about baby here. Like,
yeah,
if you think about it, we have a baby shower for our children. And during that shower, I was actually very blessed because during my shower, I had a few other women who thought about me as well, and not just about the baby that I was bringing into the world. Like, I didn't need any more diapers. I didn't need any more onesies. But like things like getting me slippers so that I was comfortable, coming straight home from the hospital. Even the different advice that I got, I was very, very blessed to have that happen for me. But I realized as I went to other baby showers, like these women are not being given this extra love on them, and they're making a whole life. Like there's 9 months of a child. If you make it full term, there's 9 months of a child growing and developing in your body, and then you have to give birth to it, and they give you a little diaper basically when you leave that no one tells you you're going to get.
true. So much of the birthing process was like, y'all left all these details out. Just
Right.
all of it. All of it was left out.
All they tell you is like, oh, are you going to be breastfeeding or what? Like they prepare you for that, but they don't
No,
prepare
I was
you.
not prepared for how hard nursing was going to be. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. There's so many tears. I mean, I think I still have PTSD about it. I swear, I called my mom and I was like, this was your job to warn me.
You were supposed to tell me about this. Yeah.
Warn me about it.
My nurses, that's all they talked about at the hospital that we were at. They gave us so many pamphlets about breastfeeding. I mean, they didn't tell me about biting.
Okay, but at that point, you already have a baby. I feel like we should have talked about this
Yeah.
way back at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, someone should have definitely dove deeper into that. But that was the only thing they really talked about though. Like they gave the little bit of information about breastfeeding and latching and stuff like that. But the latching part wasn't until after I had her. And it was just all these different things, more so about the benefits of breastfeeding, but not the actual act of it. And no one told me about the cyst baths. Like I had no idea what that was and why I needed a squirt bottle when I left, or this like maxi pad diaper thing. Like nobody told me like all the different things that my body was going to go through. I had heard people talk about, you know, the water weight that you might still have and the weight loss and this and that. And I really didn't care about that. I was always skinny anyway. I was trying to gain weight, so I didn't care about weight loss. Like I would have been a whole lot more helpful to know that I was going to have to bathe differently for a few weeks. And
well, okay, so here's a good surprise. I had a C-section, an emergency C-section, and this is my first birth, and I got a diaper too, and I was like, no, I don't need that. They took it out I got
just get off the front.
What do I need that for? Come to find out, you need that.
You need it. See?
Like,
and being that I have a C-section, I wouldn't have known that. Like I had no idea that with a cesarean you still needed that little diaper thing.
All still happens that same normal way. All that postpartum stuff, and it's like, son of a gun, this would have been nice to know.
Yeah, it would be, but yeah, there's so much that's left out on the whole process. And it's just like the silly things to me, because everything that I feel like my doctors told me were like all things that I've heard online, heard from family members. And most of it really was like how important it is to eat specific foods to help babies' growth, and how important it is for like breastfeeding and taking your prenatals. I was like, I already know this stuff. Like everyone talks about this. What about the stuff nobody talks about?
I know, 100%.
So if you're pregnant and watching this, be ready for cyst baths. It's a little squirt bottle and diapers, not just for the baby, for you too.
Even if you have a C-section.
Yes. No matter which way it goes, apparently you need it for both. But Beck, what led us to that? That's so funny.
I don't even know.
I think I was asking you about like a book title, but my next kind of fun question, I want you to imagine that I am a genie and you have 3 wishes. There's only one rule. You cannot wish for more wishes, but other than that, you can wish for whatever you want. Please don't overthink it, because I am not a real genie. This is just for pretend.
Okay, let's see. I would clearly want to win the lottery at the highest amount, because money does not buy everything, but it sure would cross some stuff off my list.
For sure.
I would keep my kids close and safe for my entire life, so that they were nearby. And last but not least, I would, good one. You might have stumped me.
That too. Still got one more wish.
I still got one more wish. Okay. I think that food should just not have calories.
Calories or bad ingredients.
Or consequences.
Your wish.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, gluten is from the devil, but I wish that it wasn't.
So we just get rid of all the bad ingredients, no calories, eat what you want, love it, and not feel guilty.
Right. Why not?
I like those wishes. Definitely like those wishes. Keeping family close, got enough money, take care of everybody and everything, and you can eat whatever you want. So
perfect. Good life.
I really, really like that last one, because there's a few things that I don't eat anymore that I kind of miss sometimes.
Right. I know. I don't eat them because of the consequences behind them. But if there were no consequences behind them, maybe we'd think about it a little different.
Yeah, why not? Well, it won't hurt you, so why not?
Right.
So, what would you say, now that you've been about a year in business, are 3 skills that you feel like every single mompreneur should have under her belt, either before or during becoming an entrepreneur?
Grace. Give yourself grace. Some days you're going to rock it, and some days you're going to just shit the bed. I mean, it is what it is. And just give yourself that grace to have a bad day, to not do all the things, and then start over again. And don't beat yourself up for it over and over. Just give yourself grace and move forward. And then the other thing I would say is just keep going. Like, it's okay when there's down times and stuff like that, and fill that with other stuff. And so just keep going, keep sharing. You never know who you're going to reach. That's one of the coolest things that I've learned about this business, is you don't know who's watching you, and you don't know whose life needs to be touched by yours. And the most people that I've been able to affect were people that I would have never even thought to reach out to or to talk to, and things like that. And so it's just like in life, we act as if one, your kids are watching, but you don't know who's watching you, and you don't know whose day you're going to make, and you don't know whose life you're going to change, or who you might just give all the hope in the world to. And so I would just say, move about this world and move about this life, knowing that how you act and how you share your world, people are watching. Your little ones are watching, but more importantly, people that need you are watching. And so just, take that as an honor, and move about with grace.
Okay. Awesome. So that is very, very important. Grace is very hard to give yourself. I actually just recently had a conversation with another mom that was saying that was one of the things that she's really working on for herself, is giving herself grace, just like she does for everyone else. For whatever reason, it's harder to give ourselves grace than it is to give grace to others, but it is very, very important, especially as an entrepreneur, to do that. So has there ever been a time since you started this cleanse and since you started Happy Healthy Soul where you've been like, you know what, I give up, I quit? Has there been a moment where you felt that like that? And if you did, why did you feel that way? And how did you pull yourself up out of that feeling?
I didn't have a time where I want to say I quit, but I did have a time over the holidays where I kind of just let go a lot. We had done my husband and I are kind of challenge junkies. So just between us, this doesn't necessarily happen between our clients, but we really like the accountability and things that these challenges have to offer. And so we did 75 hard, which entailed just so much stuff. And it was 75 days, which is a really long time to maintain that level of really high. And so it ended, I think, mid-December. And so we ended mid-December, and we kind of just said, it's the holidays. I earned this. I deserve this. Like, I don't want to say we dove as deep as life had taken us before into the black tunnel of crap, but we definitely stepped off the wagon. And it was interesting. It happened, and it was like, it's really easy to find a reason to need a glass of wine at the end of the day. It's really easy to find a reason why you deserve that glass of wine at the end of every day. And then you get into this cycle, and you realize real quick, I don't feel as good as I did not having that wine every day, or things like that. And so that was the closest to where we were just like, damn, back on the wagon. We have to live the life we preach, and we took it away for a couple of weeks, and we just let ourselves enjoy the holidays, and it didn't benefit us in any way. It just taught us that we live this life for a reason, and we live this way for a reason. And it was just a lesson to ourselves to remind us, like, I don't know who you think you are, but you need to practice what you preach, and you preach it for a reason, and shut up and get back there.
Yeah. And that's just like being human. And I think, I know you said there was no benefit, but it sounds like it was a lesson there for you, right? Like, maybe it didn't benefit you nutritionally, but it definitely benefited.
A quick reminder though, I mean, it didn't take long to be like, wow, I'm not sleeping as good, everything hurts more, things like that, where you're like, and then a couple days back into our more strict lifestyle where we're really conscientious about what we put in our body. It's like, oh, yeah, that's why we do this.
Remember now, that good night's rest.
Right. And we need those reminders too, because we live like this more often than we don't. And so it was a reminder.
Yeah, we get used to what's our norm and then kind of forget why it's is the way it is. So, what do you feel like has attributed to your success thus far?
Um, I just feel like it's my purpose to help people, and what you're meant to do in this world. As long as you put the effort into it, it will find you. I don't even want to really take credit for it. And when we started doing it, my husband and I were like, this is what I was meant to do. Like, and we still do a lot of other things. I still have other jobs that I do and things like that, but this is the one that fills my soul up because I know that I'm helping people. I know that this is what they need. And so I really like that part of it. And I don't necessarily want to take credit for it. It's just, this is what I'm here to do. And whose lives just stumble across my view, I hope I get to help them.
Yes. And it feels so good to do the things that make you feel good at the end of the day. Like, especially if you've experienced doing things that didn't make you feel good at the end of the day, it always feels good to do that. So I'm not going to hold you any longer today because we are going to be going live at 5 p.m., right? I'm sorry, I'm asking you. Because I know it's different. Yeah, we're going live at 5 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. So for those of you who have been watching the series, sometimes I do make alterations because we're moms and I'm on a completely different time zone than Jessica is, for one. So we do make some adjustments just to make sure that the moms are able to share their stories. And the great thing about this is if you are not used to it and you're not making time for it to be at 5, then you can always look at it on IGTV after the fact. But we would love to have you on there live with us at 5 p.m. on March the 15th when you are watching this, more than likely. If you are watching it after March 15th, then you can always join, like I said, and watch it on IGTV. I can't say that fast. IGTV live, and catch everything that we talk about there too. But before we go, Jessica, I want you to go ahead and just tell everyone how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me at theblendedmommy@gmail.com, or I am on Instagram. I think you're going to link it because it's Miss Medina, Happy Healthy Soul, but there's some underscores in there that are funky. But I'll leave my email and you guys can reach out that way.
Awesome. So everything's going to slide across the screen too, just like in all the other videos. So there will be a couple different ways that you can connect with Jessica and Happy Healthy Soul, and then also will be linked in the description below, so be sure to check it out. And if you are looking for that good healthy journey, definitely reach out to her so that you can take health in the entire realm of it and make a better change for your life.
Awesome. Thank you for doing this. I love all the moms that you're showcasing, and you're just doing an amazing job, so thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it. I really, really appreciate it, and glad that I got to have you on with me.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.